How you guys doing today? This video will be a interior detailed review of the 2019 and newer Audi A7. This here is going to be the black interior with the fine finished ash grain wood. So it's the matte finished wood. Has a very nice design to it, and you can actually feel the texture in there as you rub your hand across it. Starting with the door, you do now have stitched. This is faux leather on this model. On the Prestige, I believe you can get a full leather package, but this is now some accent stitching, which is a gray color, so it's not black. Going down below, you have obviously metal trim on the door here, and the unlock and lock switches as well. Now, what's reminiscent of the older couple generations ago A6 is this metal trim piece here that goes into the door handle, which is now also stitched with contrast stitching. But I love that look. It looks very premium, and then built into there you have the two-person memory, which is very nice. Everything feels very sturdy. On the Premium Plus trim, you do get the kind of entry-level Bang & Olufsen system. Don't mind the birds, sorry about that. But there is a higher up Bang & Olufsen system that you can get on the Prestige that has kind of like the tweeters that come out on the dash. This is kind of replacing what used to be the Bose system, which again, as far as my ears can tell, this is all you would ever need. Only the true audiophones really want to upgrade to the $5,000, $6,000 system. Here's a dedicated trunk switch. This will open and close your trunk. You have to hold it to close it though. Up from there, you do have metal plated window switches as well as independent child locks. Here's your mirror controls, a little bit fancier looking than last year's model. And then you do have decent sized door bins. You can fit a somewhat big water bottle here, as well as some rubberizing on the bottom of there. Now on the S-Line cars, you do have this metal plate. It's covered in blue protection right now, but that is illuminated at night as well as metal. You can see there is the 4-way lumbar support as well as the 12-way power chairs. Again, everywhere there is that contrast gray stitching. There's kind of like a little bit of a design cue here. Now these are the standard seats. They're not the contour seats. They're not the sport seats. Very good looking though. And you can see on the center console that stitching as well as the kind of false looking leather, which is more of a plastic, a soft plastic. Runs across the center console there as well as on the armrest. Now the armrest will move forward as well as back, and in there you're going to find a wireless charging port as well as an SD card slot and 2 USB plugs, which will work for the smartphone or just charging a phone if you want to kind of have it hardwired. Now I'll jump in here. I'll go ahead and start it up. Start button is right down here by all the primary controls below the 2 touchscreens. So this is the next gen Audi steering wheel. You actually do have the shape of the grille right here on the airbag, which is kind of unique to Audi. They put some piano black finishing on the buttons now versus the last year models were kind of matte black. More prone to fingerprints, but they do look more premium. Paddle shifters are standard. Headlight controls are completely different. There's no more knob. It's kind of just a simple push button system. Now you basically tap it, and as you kind of glide your finger over it, you get on the virtual cockpit this little kind of emblem that shows you what mode you're currently in. So it's very easy to use. You basically just tap it once. Most people will leave it in auto. You have your new version of fog lights as well as rear fog lights right there. On this model, the steering wheel is powered. The tilt and telescoping, so that's right there. And again, the virtual cockpit display, very easy to control. That hasn't really changed much. The graphics might look a little different now. They're filled in with gray versus kind of like the last gen were mostly black. Again, this is the first A7 to ever feature this. Last gen you couldn't get it. And again, you do have the full virtual cockpit display. Everything looks very smooth. It almost looks like 60 frames a second or higher with the way that the graphics move. Very satisfying and beautiful to look at. Now going from there, you do have the stitching again on the dash that runs across the full length, and then there's this kind of chrome accent piece that runs along the whole length of the air vents above the screen. Now the screen itself is kind of embedded into this aluminum kind of shape that resembles the grille of the front. Actually, you can kind of see it right there. And then that will also include the Quattro badge, and this is actually illuminated on the Prestige models, the model that you can actually change the colors of the dash. On top of that, you do have more of the wood trim, and everything is super nicely integrated into each other. And you can see it goes all the way into the door there. More aluminum trim. Again, it's the same as the driver's door minus the other window controls and driver memory. Now below the touchscreens you have kind of the physical buttons, the only physical buttons left in the cockpit. This is going to be for your parking system. This car has the upgraded all-around 3D, so you can see default you have the top down over there, as well as corner front, corner rear. You can change that by clicking this here. You have all different modes that you can access, and this will change. For instance, if I were to shift into reverse here, you can see automatically the rear view comes up with the trajectory lines. And then again, if I were to switch back into drive, you get the front view. Now on these newer German cars, you do have that 3D, which is the kind of all-around new version of the camera, and you can spin it around. This is great if you're trying to find a curb or if you're trying to miss someone's bumper. But again, this is on the Premium Plus and Up model. Very, very cool technology here. Now to deactivate the parking system is this button right here. This is kind of your Audi alerts, driver assistance. So you basically can set an individual, basic, or maximum. And in individual, you can actually go in here and custom tailor all of your driver assistance as far as kind of what systems you want on and what systems you don't want on. So that's just like a quick, easy 1-2 to get out of the maximum. Let's say you were in full driver assistance and you really wanted everything to turn off, or let's say your wife likes to drive it with everything turned on and you don't. That's why they threw that button there. You have a volume switch and as well as a rocker if you move it back and forth. And that's pretty much all the physical buttons. This screen down here is going to be all for climate control, as well as kind of some more unique features. So this is your rear spoiler. This is your lane keeping, this is your auto stop start, and then up here will be all of your infotainment. I did a Q8 review where I kind of go into the system, so you can watch that. I'll link it below. It's also on my channel. It's Audi Q8 interior MMI review. If you want to kind of get into the system, as well as I'm going to be doing full Bluetooth as well as Apple CarPlay reviews on the system as well, so definitely look for those. Now down below you do have metal accessing. This is your parking brake. This is your new version of the yacht style shift knob. So basically this is your release valve, and then go into manual shifting, you slide it over to the right, and you have the up and down function to be using the paddles as well. Now going back to park, this will actually throw itself back over for you. The parking brake. This is kind of the new version of the mirror, the frameless design. The reading lamps are just tap, turn on and off. That's the same as the new the new A5, A4, Q5 family. And I'll jump in the rear in a second, but decent amount of room. Again, oversized sunroof, and that does open with the power sunshade. And Audi's finally now throwing in a shade that actually is not see-through. It's not mesh anymore, because many customers are complaining about that. So Audi's now doing the solid sunroof covers on the panoramic sunroof cars, which again is all new for Audi, because they've never done that before. Jump in the back real quick. And another cool feature before I do actually is the doors are now kind of electrically connected. So all you have to do is kind of just tap right here and the door like pops open a little bit. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to see that, but I'll do it again. So I'll touch the door handle, not putting any effort on the door, and it kind of just opens up on its own, which is nice. So again, the same level of quality back here, same stitching up top, everything is soft touch. You do have a black speaker around the metal trim up here. That's kind of the only difference, but you do have that beautiful aluminum trim as well as the stitching everywhere. Soft touch right here, soft touch right here. This is a little bit firmer right here, but above that is soft, and then kind of down it runs into the door bin. Smaller door bin in the back, but still pretty useful. Same contour, contrast stitching back here. You do have your third zone climate control, and with the cold weather package you get the outboard heated seats as well as the 3 and 4 USB ports for the rear. And right here you do have a center cup holders, which will flip out of there, as well as some storage. And then this will actually fold down as a ski pass through. It's kind of hidden up here. You got to click that, and then this will come fully down where it's kind of a true 40-20-40 split. And to fold the second row, the handles are up here on both sides, and those will come completely flat on you. Now those partial shelves do come out. I'll show you the trunk in a second. Don't mind the packaging back there because it's a brand new car. But one of the best aspects of the A7 is how spacious the trunk is. So you do have a power trunk button that opens all the way up. And again, once you take out these partial shelves and fold down that second row, there's a tremendous amount of space back there. You do get metal trim back here as well, which is nice that they're still doing that. Some of the other models, they've only put plastic in now. And again, power trunk. You got the lock and walk away feature, as well as just a typical power trunk closing. That sums up this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave comments below. And thanks again for Mohegan Lake Audi for letting me review these cars here. If you guys are in the Westchester area, northern Westchester area, definitely check them out. They're great. All right, thank you so much for watching. Take care.